good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Implications of Phineas and Ferb podcast.
There's 365 days in a gap year, and uni's gonna come and end it. So the once in a lifetime problem for us is find a good way to spend it.
Making a podcast.
Flawless girl. Just like the bloody episode of Phineas and Ferb, we're opening with a flawless girl commercial. You got flaws, you got heaps of them. Fix them.
Well, you can fix your issues with our sponsor this week. That's right, we don't have one, so you can't fix your issues, I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
if you've got issues, you've got to live with them because
We can't help.
we can't help.
Don't
anyway.
come here for help, I'm sorry.
But if we did have a sponsor, we could do a whole flawless girl thing just like the show. And
We could do a whole lot of work, we could.
We can fix all of your problems. Just use this product, but we can't because we don't have a sponsor.
Imagine thinking of all these cool jokes, but never having a punchline.
It's pretty painful. It's difficult being us.
It's the life of a podcaster.
So we are up to season 2, episode 3.
Attack of the 50-Foot Sister and Backyard Aquarium.
I've got the first one, and you've got the second one.
Yeah, and I would just like to correct the title. Attack of the 15.24 meter sister.
Looking at her in this episode, she looks like she's bigger than 50 foot, I would say.
See,
She's pretty big.
size is a hard thing to comprehend. So I thought I would get some examples of how high 15 meters is.
Right.
Then I got distracted by how good the episode was. So as far as I
It's a
got,
very good episode.
it's about 3 to 4 stories.
Cool.
So if you've got large stories, it's about 3. If you've got small stories, it's 4.
That's about right. That looks about right. Yeah.
4 stories high. It's very high.
Yeah, it's very high.
It's very high.
Um,
And with that neck, at least 2 stories a neck.
2 stories a neck.
You'd go up an elevator of Candace and you'd be like feet, body, whatever, and then neck, ginger. All right,
This
what happens?
commercial, we open with this flawless girl commercial right at the start.
Flawless
Flawless girl, and then we get an absolutely banging line. Their catchphrase: because nobody's perfect without our products.
Love me some capitalism.
It's a great satire of the beauty industry.
Yeah, and I think it gets it,
It captures the point.
pins it
yeah.
right there.
Right on the head. Yeah.
All the beauty products I've bought have made me feel flawless as long as I use them.
Definitely. Interesting thing. It's the Midsummer Festival.
Yeah, I some time continuity, not really,
Yeah.
because there's 189 episodes of Phineas and Ferb, and that's including the half ones, each half. And we've watched about 50 of them. And so Midsummer,
No.
139 episodes to
I
go.
would have just pointed out we're at the start of season 2 and it's already midsummer and there's 4 seasons and 2 movies.
Well, I like me numbers.
Yeah,
But
fair
also,
enough.
it's not Midsummer.
It's not midsummer at all. But then again, it's an endless summer. And who says the episodes are in order?
Ooh. Not our season 1 for that, that's for
Yeah.
sure. Actually, a throwback to season 1. If you heard...
The sounds of paper.
Yes, it's because I have my notebook.
We found the notebook.
Yeah, the OGs from the first 2 episodes will remember me saying I've bought a notebook for this. I bought my dependable pen from a stationery company that shall not be named.
Because
which
they're
isn't,
not sponsoring us.
They're not sponsoring us, and I don't work for them like the other stationery company that will also not be named here. And so I couldn't exactly say that I was promoting their stuff because they are. No, can't say that.
Yep.
Anyway, I've got it. It's back. Don't ask me where it was. It was in Lachlan's house, in his bedroom, and I've been missing it, and it's really sad that I hadn't had it.
Your favourite member of the podcast, the pen and notebook, are back.
They're finally back. We're into the swing of things. It's
They
some
have a
good memories.
Barjeet signal.
Not only is the Baljeet signal, it is a reference to Star Wars.
Exactly. And it's a very funny one. This episode is thick with the Star Wars references.
The 2 that we have are certainly thick.
Yeah, they're both pretty extended jokes.
We see the hologram, and I'm just like, okay.
very Star Warsy.
They have a hologram communication. That's fine.
Hologram communication with their 8-year-old friend. That makes sense to me.
Again,
or however old
fine with that.
is.
They even mention their Portal Mars and that. They've got hologram tech.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you are my only hope. I'm like, man of culture.
Episode 4 is a good movie.
And I
really
just
enjoyed it.
can't wait to watch the Star Wars episodes with you. I still can't believe you haven't seen them.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Star Wars episodes of Phineas and Ferb.
That's gonna make some good
We were going to
good
watch them when
content.
we were binging Phineas and Ferb, but
Yeah.
I deliberately didn't because I
And-
never asked about it because I wanted to experience them for the first time on the podcast.
Yeah, and then we made the
Yeah, made the podcast.
So that's going to make some good content.
Oh yeah, it is.
When's that coming? Never. Not happening.
We get Perry's dramatic entrance. He gets, dropped down from the roof, and there's like a bunch of water and some fish, and they all hit the ground. And then Monogram's like, "Oh, I'm sorry that we put the thing in the neighbor's koi pond. What can you do? All right, to avoid a lawsuit, give those fish fedoras and make them agents."
Bribery is the best way of getting away with anything.
And that comes into play later.
Oh, it's so good that they had like a callback into their own episode when the fish help Perry defeat Doof. You're just like,
Agent koi.
hang on, you can edit this, right?
Agent
Koi.
Beautiful.
Look at us go.
Yep. What else have we got?
You missed the greatest thing about Doof.
Mm.
Doof's a music producer.
Yeah. Our entrance to Doof.
Turns out it's not pre-recorded. It's live.
Yeah, and he's got the dudes in the studio. Now, having them in the studio rather than just like with a live setup implies that it is pre-recorded, but it's diegetic. He actually plays it. Like that he recorded it and made it for himself, which is in continuity because it's also his ringtone.
Yeah, but like this
So-
is like after lots of episodes. Do you think
Yeah.
they've been in that recording station for that long, or he recorded it and for some reason they just back to do a re-recording or something?
That's a good point because I was going to say maybe this episode takes place first and this is him getting the jingle for the first time.
Well,
But it's the midsummer festival.
Yeah, so that means there has to be at least one episode before it.
So how did he record the jingles?
Beforehand. And is it just a re-recording?
Maybe he's updating the recording, giving it a bit more stereo, making the harmonies a bit tighter, and stuff like that.
I'm glad you mentioned it was a good starter episode because it is indeed a good starter episode, and it is winning the award for if I was to give this Phineas and Ferb, like if I was to introduce someone to Phineas and Ferb, this is how I'd introduce them.
You would show them this episode.
Apart from like the Star Wars and Marvel like tie-ins, you'd be like, oh, you really like that.
Yeah,
Here's this.
they would be good, but I wouldn't show them as first episodes. Whereas this one, it's even though it's got all this wacky hijinks, it's quite extreme. It shows, which we will get into later,
Yes, yeah.
the extreme power of Phineas and Ferb.
The implied ridiculousness.
The implied ridiculousness. It's also it doesn't break any conventions.
Yeah,
it's
it
just a
is
solid episode.
Phineas and Ferb formula. Mum doesn't see it. Candace is crazy about it. And there's also a bit of Jeremy love in there.
Yeah, we love Jeremy.
Big supporters.
Jeremy's a good person. We have got Bajit sees Ferb's fold out thing because Bajit wants to win the best watermelon contest.
Who
at the
doesn't?
Midsummer Festival. He
Who
wants big
doesn't
watermelon.
go to the Midsummer Festival and go, you know what I want to win? The watermelon contest. Yeah, I
But
definitely
unfortunately,
never done
his
that.
watermelon is too small.
It's too small.
So contacts Phineas and Ferb. Ferb's like, "I'll just get my chemistry kit out," and he just unfolds a laboratory. Bajit looks at Phineas and she's like, "Can I borrow Ferb sometime?"
No, his contract won't allow it.
But like,
but like
I would ask
overlay-
that too. Ferb was so useful to have around.
Ferb, you're just like Ferb. I need X thing. Ferb produces X thing.
Mm-hmm.
Done. Like,
Easy peasy. He's like
so easy.
He's like Kowalski from the Penguins of Madagascar. Or he can just
No.
produce anything out of nowhere.
No, that's Rico.
I'm sorry, Kowalski's the smart one. I'm sorry.
Kowalski's the smart one where
I'm a
he's like,
disappointment.
Kowalski, options.
Kowalski analysis.
Analysis.
That is a good meme.
And then Rico's the
The one that can
Blech.
regurgitate anything.
yeah,
And
and
it's
there's
just
like
there.
bombs. And all
Ferb
sorts of-
doesn't even need to regurgitate. He just pulls it out of nowhere.
He just pulls it out of his pocket.
Mm.
He's got that. Later on, he does it again with the umbrella.
Yep.
Ferb is always prepared. Do love
love
to
to
see
see
them
it.
keep that up.
So Candace is too short to be the next flawless girl model.
Yeah, flawless women are 5'10". Just ask Phineas and Ferb.
Yep. That's
I don't actually know how tall 5'10" is.
5'10". You're like 6'1", so like a couple inches shorter than you. It's tall.
Thank
for a
you
girl.
for 5'10". I don't have anyone. I don't know of no one of 5'10". Anyway, tall for a girl
Tall for a girl.
in Australia at least.
Yeah. Oh, and everywhere. Australia has a very tall height average.
Oh,
Our height average for women is
Go
like
us.
it's like 5'7" or something. Like we've got quite a lot of tall women.
nice.
Whereas like it gets like it's way shorter in England. It's like 5'4".
All right, now we're just saying numbers. We'll
Yeah.
look it up later.
The
Fact-
difficulty is
Fact check us, I
the
dare you.
difficulty is people throw these numbers around. And I'm like, this would be amazing if I actually gave a fuck about your imperial system, give it to me in centimeters.
For some reason, size, like,
It just works better in feet.
yeah. People are like, I like being.
Except when you're
6
15
feet.
meters tall. And then it works better in meters.
Yeah, that's true. When you get up to 50 feet, you're like, how big's that? 15 meters? That
That's
I
a
can
good
imagine.
reference. Yeah. It's only at people scale that I understand feet. And even then, it's like, we should still swap to meters.
Yeah. I don't think if you got 6 of my foots and you stack them up on each other, I'd be that tall.
I think you would be.
Yeah, well, apparently I am.
Yeah. Go
But
you.
who would stack feet? This is dumb. Anyway,
It's very dumb, yeah.
next.
The reason that these two stories collide, Candace needs to be taller. The boys have created a growth serum to make.
So she's just like,
Bargai's
quick,
wall mount
I
bigger.
saw it work and it only did a little bit. So I only need to grow a little bit.
Chuck it on ya. You've made a grave mistake.
You thinking Phineas and Ferb growth serum doesn't grow you massive.
Now,
Rookie mistake.
it starts off by like growing it disproportionately for some wacky hijinks. So we see her head grow first, right?
The bobblehead, that
It
was
gets
funny.
massive. It was quite funny, but how did her heart function?
How-
Because all of a sudden there's a lot more blood that needs to go up than there was before.
You know you know how we keep bullying her neck?
Mm.
That neck is a machine.
Yeah.
Not only can it keep her head up normally, like giraffes have issues with having long necks. Their heads will explode when they tip over. Now it's got 10 times the weight on top of it. That neck is cast iron.
It's going solid. Yep. 100%.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, no, your body cannot live with just boom face.
All neck, yeah. You need a heart that works good as well. God, English.
works
good. We also get a funny cutaway where we cut to Phineas and Ferb before Candace runs over being like, fix this. And Barjeet's sitting there and he's like, so are there Fireside Boys too?
No, it's the Fireside Girls. It's like
Yeah.
Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
Come on, Baljeet. This is basic stuff.
But if there's Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts.
No, there's Boy Scouts.
And
And
Girl
there's
Scouts.
Fireside Girls. Gender segregation.
We love to see it. Nothing makes you happier than gender segregation.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's the way it should be. Yeah.
If you can't get on with that person, you should just completely segregate them from your
100%.
Yeah.
This is good life advice.
good life advice.
With the boys.
See, we said we couldn't help you at the start, but here we are telling you how to properly run any sort of minority.
Yeah.
Segregate them.
Segregate them. Exactly. Just get them out. Just pretend they don't exist. It's just fine. Just
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
it's how we've done it before, and it's had great success.
Back to Doof's studio. He has a gold record.
Yeah, he's a studio guy. I thought
Yeah.
he's a gold nominated. I don't know what
Yep.
gold is. Music producer. Look at him go. And deserves a gold record. That just that by itself deserves a gold record.
Fun fact, gold certification currently means the sale of 500,000 units for albums and 1 million for singles.
How long do you think us playing that 500,000 times would take?
I'll be honest, Chief.
It's going to be a while, isn't it?
You should stop now. Yeah. And also, it doesn't even matter. It's sales.
Oh, we didn't buy it, did we?
Yeah.
Imagine if you could.
I'd buy it. 100%. I want to
I
support
want-
this show.
Yeah.
And I also want to support Doof and his...
Yeah, I do think this might also be a bit of Dan in there, because Dan obviously voices Doof, and I think he's gone, you know what, let's make a good in joke. Let's have...
Well, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but some of their music might have gone gold, because... Like,
yeah, probably gone
it wouldn't
gold at
surprise
least
me,
once.
because they've
They've
had
made
stuff...
these.
Used to sit alone, do
An
an evil all day.
Good
That's
stuff.
a good song. Yeah, no, it wouldn't surprise me if they're gone gold, because they've had stuff on the top 40 before.
Yeah, that's
Like
what
Swampy
Swampy
told
said.
us about.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, when we recorded an episode of this podcast
And
with
if you want to
Jeff
hear
Swampy
about
Months,
that,
jump over to season 5. It's real good. We did an episode with Swampy. Oh my god, flex that shit.
every single episode.
So Doof's plan for today is
A
to make
sm-
everything smell like diapers.
Because he's just sick of this crap. He's just like,
He just-
I'm going to ruin everyone.
Want to ruin everyone's day.
I'm getting rid of this festival. It's going to smell bad.
Fair enough. As people living in a town where a festival was just recently cancelled and it was one of the best things to happen this year,
Yes, agreed.
I can't even fault Doof today. I cannot even begin to follow Doof today.
If
He is 100% correct.
If I could flood the country music festival with diaper smells resulting in everyone leaving immediately, I would.
We already try to get the tourists, like try to annoy the tourists because we play the national anthem really loudly from the pool's speakers and over across the fields where all of the tourists are staying really, really early on Australia Day. So that like the second day of the festival, they have to get up at like 4 a.m. and you've ruined their entire day.
And then you realise they're into that crap and they start playing their banjos and tapping away with the guitars and
Ye
they've got their
howdy.
ye howdy cowboy hats and the
And it's
straw
like-
in their mouth and
You're
they're
like,
like,
"Why do I
God,
live here?"
I wish I was in Nashville. That's what they're after, but it'll go
There's-
second best.
There's like so many genres of music, and I love music to my core. And for some reason, I'm living in the town with the festival named after one genre of music, and it's the only genre I dislike. Do you know how hard that is?
Yeah, that can be hard.
So just gonna make everything smell like diapers. We can't avoid it anymore. They made a growth serum.
Okay, they made a growth serum and it's a serum. And you just like put it on you. They don't really clarify exactly what you have to do. And then Doof gets it mixed up when there's a big fight over this serum. That beauty lady nearly got it. Can you imagine if she commercialized growing serum?
Your nose is too small? Grow it.
No.
Easy.
You know where this is leading, right?
Where?
Penis enlargement pills.
Hey, you want to buy some penis enlargement pills?
Yeah.
I've got penis enlargement pills.
It's not flawless girl anymore.
It's That's quite funny. You could sell it to anyone though.
Yeah, you could
There's
sell it
always
to anyone.
parts of body that you want
Yeah.
to get bigger.
Yeah, big. Yep.
Yep. mhm.
Yeah, you know what I'm thinking.
But
Yep.
instead, we get quite possibly one of the most ridiculous, physics-breaking,
And
insane moments.
hardest
of Phineas and Ferb.
implication that we've ever seen before.
We so Doof accidentally mixes the diaper smell serum up with the growth serum,
And he
and
cha-
instead of Candace getting shrunk back down to a normal size,
No. And instead of selecting tri-state area, it selects the universe. First of all, a machine that can put anything in the universe,
that is impressive.
that is very hard
if
to
you
do.
have any machine with a dial that turns to the universe, that's impressive.
You've already
Doesn't
won.
matter what it even does.
And like the theory currently is the universe is expanding, right?
yeah,
Well, then that would mean it would have to travel faster than light for it to reach the edge of the universe. But then again,
Exactly.
for what it does, it doesn't actually need to.
yeah. But then also,
So what?
he shoots the entire universe with growth serum, and everything except for Candace expands.
No,
and that's
everything
how
except
she's-
that's used it before, because he said it only
Yeah.
works once, and so that's why the watermelon's still small
yeah
at the end. But everything grows into the 50-foot.
like 50 times the size. So
What?
let's be generous and assume Candace is 6 foot. She's not, but let's do it. Well, 5 foot because it's easier to do math.
So it's
but
like-
it grows you about 10 times.
Yeah,
Roughly,
I was
literally
gonna
less than
I was
10
gonna
times.
go like 7 or 6, but yeah,
Yeah, that works,
Yeah,
yeah.
it doesn't matter. Grows you a lot,
Yep.
and every single elf, because remember the mum says size is relative, grows 6 times its size.
Let's Righto. So firstly, it shows us this zoomed out shot where all the planets expand.
Yep.
The distance between them doesn't expand. So
No.
the implication there is that it doesn't expand nothing. Like it only expands.
It
stuff
only
that
expands things
physically
that
exists in
exist.
space.
So no, how good do we think this growth serum is? Do we think the atoms themselves be expanded? Do
Yeah,
you think they
'cause-
change the quantum
Yeah.
state of every little particle in existence of that person?
As far as we know,
And-
it would be fine if atoms expanded, right? Because if every atom expanded equally, oh,
No, see,
gravity.
See, gravity would work if you increase the atom size. So if you
Because everything's relative, gravity would stay the same.
everyone would
Yeah.
stay the same weight.
Mm.
So, but Candace is Candace heavier? This is where it all leads
this
to?
Is the
Candace
same
heavier?
This is the same discussion as when you're talking about Ant-Man.
Oh, Ant-Man just throws it out the window. They're just like,
Yeah.
I want to pick up a lab, and I'm going to pick up a lab, and we're not going to discuss how you pick up a lab.
Yep, but then also we're gonna have Ant-Man punch as hard as he normally punches when he's small, which implies that it doesn't
Change your mass,
the mass,
which
which ruins the picking up a lab thing.
Yeah.
This is the same.
he has
sort
a
of thing.
tank on his keychain.
If it
What?
multiplies the atoms, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, if you somehow get more mass, then the Earth is no longer in an orbit with the sun. The sun is now just blown up with the rest of the entire universe.
Everything explodes. But that is what is implied.
That
Because
is what implied.
nothingness isn't expanded. Like the planets are now, closer together because they're all bigger.
Yeah, but if the atoms themselves expanded, which for numerous reasons they don't.
Really would.
Yeah, I guess it kind of would work.
If on the smallest level everything expanded an equal amount, then how would we even know? It would be imperceptible. So I suppose that I don't want to be like this is perfectly thought through, but like
this is perfectly fine.
yeah,
I
it
understand.
seems all right.
You know what? It probably has already happened in our universe.
Probably at some point. I don't know.
At some point, Doofenshmirtz did the growth thing, and we turned to our normal size. But it's just insane.
It's mental. The scale of this is ridiculous.
It's literally the universe.
It's the largest
more
thing
than
they
doubling
ever do.
in size.
Yeah, it's
Like,
the largest thing they ever do by a large
You
scale.
cannot physically get bigger than this.
This is what happens when Doof and Phineas work together.
And it was completely accidental.
Yeah. Can you imagine what would happen if they were working together on purpose?
They were like, you know what, we're going to, do something to the universe this time, but we're actually going to do, it on purpose instead of expect. It's just insane.
It's mental.
It doesn't.
Fortunately, this episode, the science in this episode may be nuts, but you know what's even more nuts? The fantastic message it sends. Candace realizes that everyone's trying to sell her, feeling better, feeling worse.
They're making money off their insecurities.
Which is not okay. Like,
No,
that's not what
promoting
should be
any
happening.
sort of insecurities in yourself is.
Yeah, or promote making people feel better by making other people feel worse. Like, it's just don't do it.
Just don't ploy to your. Yeah, anyway.
Find beauty within yourself. Lovely message.
Yeah, and the
From
real
a 50
beauty.
foot tall girl on top of a building.
Yeah, and the real beauty is to bust your brothers.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what matters.
So you got to bring it home.
When when we were watching this, I literally turned to Joe and said, "That was almost a cathartic moment
Yeah,
for her, wasn't it?"
It was almost a moment where we were like, oh, we're actually really developing, gotta
and
bust
she's
the brothers.
just like, "Gotta bust the brothers, though."
And so as she's running to the mother, I just want to state it again, the entire universe grows 7 times.
Yep.
And so then the mum's like, no, you're not any bigger. It's relative. Or does the mum know? No one should know.
maybe.
That was insane. Crazy.
It's certainly a large episode. It's certainly got a lot of implications behind it. And the last thing I have to discuss for this segment, the koi pond agents come back. They're already all over it. They are already trained up.
They were
and
hired.
competent
It
and ready to
doesn't
go.
take much. Well, no, it does take a lot, but they were straight into it.
They are all over it. I want to be like Agent Koi.
I vote we revisit this episode later and get some sort of quantum physicist on and just be like, yo,
Hell yeah.
watch this
I
episode.
am down for that. If we can,
Let us know, is this possible?
that
And
would be a great episode, like season 5 episode.
Spoiler alert, I think they're going to say, no.
Write into us. Let us know.
Are you a quantum
Are
physicist?
you a quantum physicist? If you are, you're welcome on the show. And write into us. Just let us know. Should we do this? Is it a good
and
idea?
also,
Should we revisit an episode?
what would you think would happen?
Yeah, what do you think would happen if the universe expanded? It'd be
Like,
Yeah.
anyway.
on
Oof.
to episode 2.
Oof. Episode 2, Backyard's Aquarium. Nice and easy story. They've got a fish now called Goldie. Don't know where he came from. Doesn't really matter. And they're like, you know what? You're looking lonely in that plastic bag of yours.
And
So
they put him in a giant tank. So they're like,
So-
looking lonely. Now,
we'll
can
make you a tank.
Can I just say, Agent Koi's. That's who you want his friends to be. Steal the neighbor's koi fish.
Don't even bother stealing. Put him back in. Just chuck him in the koi pond. Just
Yeah.
throw him in.
Why not?
He's fine. He'll have friends. And so they build this huge aquarium and then they start making a show out of it. They basically.
Still keep Goldie in a plastic bag for some reason.
Why did they bother with the tank? They're like,
It's bullying.
We-
you
we-
can't do this to a
we
fish.
need,
It's not
we need to
okay.
give Goldie friends, but we're going to make sure that he can't go anywhere near them. Anyway, they make SeaWorld.
Yeah.
Yeah, SeaWorld's got a bad rep here, doesn't it? Like for extorting animals.
SeaWorld is not a great place for a fish.
Yeah, and mammal. And orcas are not a great animal to use.
No, orcas, you shouldn't keep orcas in captivity at all.
No, they will eat you.
Yeah, that. But then also, you can't. It's
Yeah.
so impossible to build a tank that's the right size for an orca. Like they're such they sink in SeaWorld. They would swim around in circles, just like with grating their head against the side of the fish tank, and like get lacerations on their face and stuff because they kept bumping inside the tank because they're not designed to exist in such
Yeah,
small
and
conditions.
I don't want to watch an orca actually jump and do flips because I'd be too afraid it decided to do a flip on my face and eat me.
And eat you. Yep. 100%.
Orcas are not safe animals. Do not keep orcas. But they go grab them
Mhm.
in the worst spot.
From the middle of the ocean, you just get this hard cut to the high seas of the rickety fishing boat going against the waves, and I think it's one of the funniest jump cuts in any show ever.
Because it's just so quick. They somehow got on here. They somehow got off it with dolphins and orcas, but they did it, and it happened. It just like that, like
Easy
nothing.
peasy lemon squeezy.
Yeah, that like not even the hardest part of that episode, to be honest.
Meanwhile, this is the bratwurst episode, baby. I love this episode.
We could call it the lightsaber or the Star Wars episode as well, because we know what we saw. We have
Yet
eyes.
again, another Star Wars parody, and we love to see it.
Yep.
They so Doofs Plan,
Oh yeah, we should probably mention that.
Yeah,
he used to be a brothwurst seller.
and we get this amazing Jingle joke where it's got like his jingle. It's like Doofs Mert's quality bratwurst, and it's just one voice, and it's like hilarious.
It's sad. And he's sick of hot dog stands. Because hot dog stands get all the flippin' credit. And I'm down with him. Hot dog stands Hot dog stands aren't even that good. I don't enjoy them.
Here's a fun fact I found out. How much do you think the
2 tons.
hot dog license do you sell hot dogs in Central Park costs?
Ooh, Central Park?
Mhm.
Oh, it's got to be a mill.
Because it's
A cool mill.
the way that it works in New York is they essentially have like these designated spots, and there's only a finite number of them. They don't add any more. And then each year they put them up for auction,
Nice.
and you can buy them.
Okay, what did the last one
And
go for?
One of the ones in Central Park went for $500,000 last year.
Ooh, I was closer than
Yeah,
Easy Mill.
pretty close. And $500,000 for a hot dog stand. That
Yeah.
is a lot
Would
of
you
money.
even get $500,000 out of a hot dog stand?
Yes, you would.
No, but there's only one. There's like, what, 2 guys
Mm-hmm.
at most.
Your wages are so low. Your
Capitalism
product
is easier
super
in
cheap.
America.
Like, the only real expense you have is paying for that license, and then you can sell just so many hot
Yeah,
dogs.
you don't even have to get real meat
Yeah, exactly.
or real cheese
Yeah,
or real bread.
they don't even put cheese on them.
You just get sugar and
Mm.
pretend it looks like bread.
Yeah, just shape sugar into any ambiguous shape, The
Yeah.
the good old American way, freedom points and all
And
that.
then you get some more sugar and you get a red stocking and you chuck that on.
Yeah, and it's just sell that, easy peasy.
Yeah, we could go into business. Anyway, Doof rightfully is sick of that crap and decides to, freeze over their boilers so then they will never sell another hot dog because they'll be cold and tasteless. And what he's made is just, a freezinator that specifically
It's a freeze ray.
a freeze ray that specifically only freezes water
Mm-hmm.
and only the top of it, which we soon realize when he accidentally, well, because of Perry, hits the boys' aquarium,
Mm-hmm.
and it freezes the outside of the water and not the inside. Now, that doesn't work either.
They didn't want to kill the fish, is what they wanted
I
to do.
know, but that's not how ice works. Mammals could have probably held their breath for a little while, like in the straight freeze. And if they kept up with the Goldie in a bag joke, they could have probably said that Goldie was still in some water that hadn't been frozen. And if they got out of the ice quick enough, they could have probably survived. But that is a lot of work for a show where you could just be like, nah, it only freezes the outside, they're alive in the inside.
Yeah, easy.
And then
Little melt, and then they just swim away.
it just skates away
It's
and takes the huge stage, the huge seating with it, and
it's a whole thing.
just meets the ocean. Done.
Mm-hmm. And at the time that this happens, Candace is being catapulted in the air because she's part of the show that Phineas and Ferb have been putting
She
on.
always manages to
She-
get into the weirdest
yeah.
scenarios.
She takes a several meter fall straight onto a solid chunk of ice and doesn't die.
Or-
She falls head first, like she should be dead.
Ice is hard. You would have hurt yourself.
100%. She like gets up and like her hair's disheveled, and I'm like, I don't care if you're a cartoon, your head is broken.
It's gone. Your teeth should be at least chipped.
I fell like 2 meters onto concrete, and I nearly broke my back.
Yeah.
So
And ice is pretty much the same.
ice is solid as hell. Yeah.
And then one of the sweetest moments,
Mm.
she slips off into Jeremy's arms.
Yeah. This is
Of course Jeremy's there.
This is a
Of
Jeremy
course he
and
is.
Candace episode, if there ever was one. They are so cute.
Yeah, they try to call each other and they get the same message, but she never looks at her messages. That's a bit dumb. It was
Remember back in the day when you could just like use your phone without looking at the messages?
Yeah, remember back in the day where calling or texting someone was like basically the only way to contact them?
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have, Snapchat or Instagram or Twitter
Messenger.
or all these other things we could plug that you could contact us on implications, such as Gmail, implications at gmail.com. God, that was a smooth segue.
That was a beautiful plug, and we love to see it.
God, I'm going to end it there. But I am a bit surprised, and it makes me kind of feel sad that I'm in a world where people plan so many things when it comes to talking over phones.
What do you mean? He's sad that people are communicating. Well, that's not
No,
sad,
I'm
I
not
think.
sad, but there's like this, not feeling, but the idea that you always have to be constant communication with someone, and then when you're not talking to them, it's a horrible thing, and it's like,
That's a boundary. Like, I think that if you can't go without talking to someone, then you're not really a good friend with them.
You should probably see them more face to face if that's an issue there.
Yeah.
And I think people just neglect that because they're like, oh no, I talk to them all the time on this thing, and it's like, yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, you got to see him. You got to see him, and that's why this pandemic is so hard because you're not seeing as many people face to face.
I know. Imagine not being with your friends, doing things you like.
Imagine not looking into the eyes of your friend as you're recording a podcast.
God, that was too romantic. Stop looking at me.
I'm maintaining heavy eye contact.
Look
right now.
away.
Heavy eye contact.
We were talking about pill enlargement. No.
Heavy eye contact.
Stop.
Uncomfortable breathing.
Stop. We're in a sweaty, hot booth. This is weird.
Candace just spiders up a tree. That's going back a bit, but
Yeah.
she's like, I'm gonna go scope out what's happening with these boys.
Candace has really good fingernails
Yep. It's really weird.
and feet, I guess.
Yeah. She just kind of spiders up a tree and just Yep.
Climbs up there.
It's a great visual joke, but like, honey, what?
Honey, what?
This is an exorcism.
It's
sort
part
of
of the Flawless Girls range.
Yep.
Nails that let you
Attack
climb
nails.
trees.
Yeah, Billie Eilish nails that just let you like climb up a tree. Yep. We get a great joke where, as we mentioned before, the Star Wars reference. Perry uses a hot dog, Doof uses a bratwurst, and they have a lightsaber fight. And
Yep.
it's absolutely fucking hilarious.
Better choreographed than the first lightsaber fight in episode 4.
100%. It's not hard. Episode 4 was really good, but the lightsaber fight between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan was yikes.
Yeah.
They were two old men poking each other with a stick, essentially. Like, Alec Guinness was like 80.
Yeah.
Like, it was never going to be good.
Poor dude.
Anyway, we get this great moment where Perry lifts up his hat and then he holds his hand out and out of his hat flies a hot dog. Does Perry have the force? Because a little bit later, Doof holds his hand up and Perry's like, what? And he doesn't use the force. He's
But he
like, I
tries.
made you look. And I'm like, it's funny that you're being like, of course the force doesn't exist when you just saw Perry demonstrate it. Doof isn't force sensitive, but Perry sure as hell is.
Perry is force sensitive. Do you think he's going to heal a sandworm now?
That was such a dumb part of that movie.
It was so shoehorned. And it's like, you didn't even try and explain. Oh, God, I hate that film.
I don't want to even get into Star Wars because then someone will mention Episode 8 and then we'll have to have the discussion where I
you
talk about
defend it.
I defend it, and then we're going to get people emailing us that have been like, you are literally the stupidest person on earth.
Imagine being emailed, though. Maybe you should start.
Yeah, if you do want to call me stupid for liking Episode 8, implications at phineasferb@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on the
Instagram DM. We should just Reddit. We'll go to like Star Wars and just literally say I love Episode 8 because it is the best episode, and just watch that hate flood in.
It's not the best Star Wars episode, but I always end up as the defender of it because everyone thinks it's bad for the wrong reasons. Everyone's like, this is stupid for this, and I'm like, you're an idiot. It doesn't need to be a perfect movie for you to be stupid and not liking it.
Unfortunately, Star Wars isn't that good.
It just in general, it's quite stupid, isn't it?
Yeah, Phineas and Ferb Star Wars, as we've discussed before,
Fantastic. Top
best
tier.
Star Wars ever made. Second, The Mandalorian.
Easy.
Always watch that. Then Clone Wars if you have to.
What do you mean if you have to? The end of Clone Wars is so good.
Oh, okay. And then that season 7. Holy shit. And then that wonderful thing called memes, prequel memes. Just go.
That goes right there. Yep.
Do yourself a favor. Go on Reddit and read all the prequel memes. don't need to watch any of the movies.
God, this is a hot take, and I'm probably going to cut this because the emails will be bad. We watched episode 5 in cinemas the other day. It's
Oh, yeah.
not.
It's not even that good.
It's not.
And that was the best one they
perfect.
made.
Like, it's the best one, but it's probably not my favorite. I enjoyed episode 7 better, and that sounds so bad. It sounds like you're like, oh, I don't respect the originals and stuff. But genuinely, like, Han Solo is super gross in that movie. There's like hitting on Leia in the good old fashioned "you like me because I'll press myself onto you enough times that you like me" sort of way.
Yeah.
And we don't get like enough of Leia being a badass, and Luke is like being a little bit stupid, and
Yeah,
we get
it's
some
Star
amazing
Wars
Yoda.
dates.
But like when you look at it on a big screen, everything that like doesn't look bad on home video just looks bad. Like Yoda didn't look fantastic and stuff, and I was just like, oh, Star Wars has never been like perfect. Like Marvel movies, when you see a bad one, it's like, well, they've had this golden period where there's like just good movie after good movie. So like it hits. It's like this is a bad movie. Star Wars has never been fantastic.
No, it hasn't.
So when
I don't know how they got such a huge cult
Yeah.
following. I think it was just because it was so like
and it's not
early,
even bad. I like it. I like all of it.
but
But
it's
like
not.
it's never been perfect. And when people are like the sequels are bad because like the only good ones were Rogue One and Episode 7, it's like,
I
yeah,
don't like
2 out of 5 as the good to bad ratio of Star Wars movies is about consistent with the
Yeah.
rest of Star Wars.
I think one thing that I think everyone can agree on is the universe of Star Wars is exceptional.
Oh yeah.
Like
Great
the
world building.
ideas, the
Mhm.
world building is absolutely exceptional. But the characters and stories that happen,
George Lucas was not a dialogue writer, and everything since it's like, what we're going to do is we're going to emulate the style of the originals by just not writing good characters.
and then when they're going to flip flop, and then you know what? We're actually going to take a step back from George Lucas and think, let's make 3 separate films and call them a trilogy.
Yep.
And they just purposely shitbag the one before him.
It's like, can you not just have a plot planned out? This is so tangential.
What happened to storyboarding?
Yeah.
Anyway, you're right. It is tangential. Back onto the Phineas and
Let's
Ferb
get
podcast.
back to. Yeah, let's
We've-
get back to the.
We've plugged the podcast a lot of times.
Mhm.
Have you received any messages?
Any messages?
Apart
Let's
from-
have a see. Open up the. No. Haven't received anything.
What
I'm
about
a little
Apple
gutted about that.
Podcasts?
Oh, yep. Let's have a cheeky look at Apple Podcasts. Anyone left a little review? If you'd like to leave a review, did you know you can do it in app? Did you know you can just go into the app and you can just do it there, and you don't have to actually listen to an episode, or you don't have to go any to external websites. It's fantastic. So chuck us a cheeky review. We would appreciate it.
We have been hit up by a person who we don't know, and he says he thinks it's another time for Zach's dry humor and deadly
yeah.
one-liners, and that
Whoever they are, and I have no idea who sent that email. but
he's
whoever
never
they
coming
are,
back on.
Yeah, no, fuck that guy.
Yeah, no, he's shit.
Yeah,
we
no,
didn't.
that-
We re-listened to the episodes,
And we
and
were like, dang.
we were like, damn, this guy just slows us down. For fuck's sake. Yeah, no.
Actually, this is a side note. I don't know if I'll keep this in or not, but we need to get Kelsey back on the podcast because Kelsey's episode is still outperforming Swampy's.
I don't
How
understand.
insane is that?
I don't know how Kelsey's name
It's more popular
pulled more plays and more listens to
than
than Jeff
Swampy's.
Swampy Marsh.
How?
I
It's
just
ridiculous.
don't know.
It's gaining though.
It's gaining.
It used to be like a 50 difference, and now it's like 10. Like I reckon it'll
Ooh,
overtake it
But like still.
because the Swampy episode had some pretty sustained success. Like it's still getting listened.
Yeah.
But
But you know who hasn't pulled all that? Zach.
yep.
So,
So not coming on the podcast there. Sorry,
Not
bud.
once,
Yep.
yep,
No, get
not-
out of here.
not-
No, 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 no.
we're, and yeah, there was that discussion, and there was someone on Instagram.
Yep. Well, I think that's about all.
That's about it.
Yep.
Uh,
Do we want to plug anything anymore?
you releasing any songs soon?
Oh well, maybe just maybe give my Instagram a follow. I'm gonna just get some cheeky stuff going on maybe in a little while.
If you want to look at bobby haired hair on a man,
he bullies me.
wink. Wink is he a man? We don't know.
There's 2 options for my hair. You bobby pin it down after the shower, or it turns so frizzy, but not in a frizzy in a consistent afro frizzy kind of way. Frizzy in a you look like you've just walked through like a car wash.
Anyway, I'm bullying him about it because it's funny.
Mm.
And so he has bobby pins in his hair most
Yeah.
of the time, and I don't like being around him and standing next to him. So
I don't like being around you just because of the person you are. Anyway,
Zach,
follow me on
you
Instagram,
might
Night After
become
Music
back
Comments.
as the co-host. It's a lovely time talking to you. I know what we've done today.
I know what we've done today.